Tatiana, and my channel is Created by Lady T. And in this channel, I talk about quilting, crochet, and sewing. I also give product reviews, and I give lessons on how to quilt and sew and crochet. And so in today's episode, I am going to show you how to make this wonderful baby quilt. So here's the quilt. It's very fast and very nice to make. This is for a boy, but you can also make one for a girl. And what I did was I cut 8-inch squares of different fabric for a little boy, and then I put a border around them, and then I put batting. I made a top quilt, I put batting and a backing, and I put the binding on, and the quilt was done. It went very quickly, and I'll put the measurements of the quilt in the description. So if you have a baby shower coming up, and nowadays people know what the child is going to be, if it's going to be a girl or if it's going to be a boy, you can make a quilt really quickly and give a really nice gift for somebody who is going to have a baby. Or if you just want to give it to somebody who has a child, these quilts could go up to maybe even 5-year-olds. So it's a nice bedside quilt for a little child. So I'm going to show you how to make it, and you can do it yourself very quickly. So watch along. All right, so I fussy cut in 8-inch squares of this children's fabric. So I've got some tractors here. I've got some different types of locomotion here, like airplanes and taxis and cars and fire engines and helicopters. And I've got some little letters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a border to each of these, so they'll be 10-inch blocks. I'm going to add 2 inches all around the blocks. I'm going to be using that fabric, which I am waiting for my iron to steam up, and I'm going to iron the fabric, and then I'm going to cut them into 2-inch strips. And boy, if I found a thing of jelly rolls, it would have made my life a little easy, but I don't think I could find jelly rolls as much as I need. So each of these are going to have borders, and once I do that, then I'll have my front of my quilt, and I'll attach it to the backing. So the backing, I have I've already opened the package of batting right here, and this is going to be the backing of the fabric. And I've also got this fabric for the binding, and I've got that thread for the binding, and I think I'm just going to use white thread to create my blocks. All right, so I have my 8-inch square, and I've got my strip. So I'm going to start with these sides first, this side, and that side, and I'm going to sew along the edge. I'm going to use my 97 foot on my Bernina 790 plus, and I'm just going to sew a 1/4-inch seam on each side. Okay, so I sewed these on each side, and I'm going to do this. So this is 8 inches wide, but because I've added 2 inches here and 2 inches here, that's 4 inches to the 8. So I'll have to do 12-inch strips for this side. So then I'm not going to press these yet. I'm going to sew all my squares, and then I'm going to press them all at once, because if I go back and forth to press them, I'm going to lose my mind. So I'm going to do this side and this side right now, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, I did this side, and now I'm going to do this side. you have to make sure that you line this up really well or you'll miss it, and I've missed a few before. So I'm lining this up really well, and I'm just going to sew along the edge. All right, this is what this looks like. Now, please be informed, I did not press it yet. So I'm just gonna make a pile of these and press them later. I'm gonna pre-cut these edges so that I have a whole bunch. I'll make a pile of 8-inch squares and a pile of 12-inch squares so that I don't have to keep cutting as I'm going. All right, so I put the blocks together in rows of 3, and I've matched up the tractors and the letters and the moving vehicles. I've matched these up, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew all of these together, and then I'll have my quilt top, just a straight stitch. I just have to go very slow because I want to make sure that they're all even and they're all lined very well. So this is beginning to look really cute. Okay, so here is my quilt that I'm kind of looking at, and so my batting stops right here, and I'm thinking of just taking 2 of these rows and cutting from here, and then I'll have to square this up, and then I'll quilt it, and after I quilt it, I'll put my binding and I'll be done with this. So I kind of knew that the quilt would be as long as the batting, and I just added extra rows. I could do a pillow or something with the extra rows that I have, but I think this looks really cute. All right, so I got the quilt all laid down, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut right here, and it's gonna go into the picture, but it's okay. And then I'll put the binding. And what I am gonna do is I'm going to sew in the ditch over here. And I think I'm just gonna leave that as a quilting and not do anything else. Before I sew it, I'm going to take the 505 spray and I'm going to baste this on my binding and my backing. And then I'll cut this, and then I'll start sewing. All right, so I sewed in the ditch in all these areas where I had the opportunity. And in the back, I used white thread so it blends with the fabric. So that's the bobbin thread. And on the top, I used a very light blue that you could barely tell. Now what I'm going to do is put together the binding and bind this, and I am done. Okay, so I hope you liked this video and that I showed you how to make this lovely quilt for a boy. A variation I also have that I've made for a girl is right here. And what I did with this is I just used 12-inch blocks. And I sewed them together. And it goes actually this way. And I created a little design with the 12-inch blocks. So I hope you can see this. And it went very quickly too. This top layer took me about maybe an hour to do. And then the whole blanket took no more than about 2.5, 3 hours. So if you need a quick quilt for a baby shower, this might be the way to go. There's lots of lovely fabrics. I will list in the link below where I got the fabrics for these 2 quilts. So I hope you guys make one for somebody and let me know in the comments who. Do you have a baby shower coming up or a neighbor with a child, which would make it a great present? So let me know. Created by Lady T. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll have more videos for you.